might be in a battle right now, but how do you see the end? Because you get to determine the end. You don't have to just let the enemy, put you in his current so that you're in the midst of all the turmoil without God's embrace and without God's end. So ask the Holy Spirit, what does the end of this look like? I don't believe that David went into battle against Goliath wondering what the end was going to look like. I don't believe that. I believe he saw in his perception that giant was coming down. That giant was going to be knocked down flat, and he was going to get the reward. Why do I know that? Because he asked ahead of time, what do I get if I take this giant out? What is the reward base here? How do I line my pockets with this one? And he had this assurance. He just knew he was dreaming big. What was it going to look like? And then he found out that he could even have Saul's daughter, and he could have position, and he could have all this. And he was excited when he went into battle, and there was a big giant that he was facing, and that giant was against him. He just hurled out threats against him, and he was intimidating. But David refused to let the enemy taunt him. He tried, but David just refused. And he had in his mind the way this was going to end. You're not going to get me. I'm getting you. And this whole nation is going to be free from this ridiculous assault. I'm going to save the nation, and I'm going to get the reward that you get for the battle. Remember your journal of victory? The giant's heads are in there. Well, David got a giant's head, right? And there's many coming for you too, and I just want you to be assured of that. So what do you see? Do you see the victory? What do you see at the end of the trial? Because if you keep the faith in the midst of a trial, it's so beautiful at the end. And we go from glory to glory. I've lived in the Lord almost 50 years now. And it totally is from glory to glory. It just keeps getting better and better. And then the word says the latter glory is going to be even greater than the former. So I can anticipate even greater days ahead than I've ever experienced in the past, because that promise is ever living. It's evergreen. And so can you. No matter what you're going through right now, you don't stall there. You don't stop there. You look beyond to see what the greater realm is of his glory and how it's going to end. You get to determine the end and say, it's going to be good because God's going to work this together for good for me.